Storey in the traffic center.
1250, the best music, WTMA.
The Big 1250, host of the Carolina Coast, presents John Trenton and Music.
WTMA, Charleston.
8:07, good morning, welcome in. Our Money Match game coming up in moments. Stand by to win that big cash on the Big 1250.
WTMA, it's Steve Russell. It's 7:08 and a chance for you to win $10 and a lip load of laughs and Smack Him Out Yuletide coming up soon in Mistletoe.
The Bee Gees on the Big 1250 up and down the Eastern Seaboard from number one Radio Park here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's called Run to Me. WTMA's Good Morning Fun Time at 6:54.
WTMA.
Oh, it's a big birthday celebration today, folks, here at the mighty TMA, WTMA 1250. I'm Bill Sharpe from Live 5 News, and it's an honor to me to sit in here and talk with people I grew up with, legends at WTMA. I've got Gery London with me, Booby Nash, Terry Allen, and on the phone, the Right Reverend John Burwell. Reverend Burwell, it's always a pleasure. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Hello, John.
John, how are you? Booby says hi.
Let's give John a hand right across the mouth.
Oh, now, Boob, come on.
Booby, good to hear from you. Gary, hello. Terry Allen, hello. And Bill Sharpe, how is the top news anchor in the Southeast doing today?
Well, you know, how much do I have to pay you to continue to say that?
You've been number one in news for how long now, Bill? Seriously.
Well, I've been very fortunate. I've been there for 30-plus years, John, and they keep putting up with me. I don't understand why.
It's just absolutely incredible.
Well, thank you.
Oh, come on. They fired him years ago. He just keeps showing up.
I do. Booby, you're not supposed to say things like that. The truth hurts. John, tell us when you were here and share some of your memories with us. And by the way, tell us how you became an Episcopal minister, priest.
Whoa, that's going to take forever. I don't want to go into all of that, but I was there from basically January 1974 until really about 1980 when I went off to seminary. But I was there. Keith Nichols, whom I heard a little bit of an advertisement or a little bit of a show before y'all started. Keith Nichols got me in the door, if you wish. I was doing the morning show at WNOK in Columbia.
Right.
And Keith said, "Hey, we got an opening down here. Would you like to come?" And I said, I'll be there. He said, "Well, it's the all-night show." And I said, "I don't care. I get my foot in the door." So I went from doing the morning drive in Columbia to doing all nights at WTMA just because I wanted to be at the greatest radio station that ever existed. And I got here. And Booby was here. When I got here, Booby taught me timing, taught me how to tell a joke. And,
sorry to hear about that, John.
And I roomed on the Isle of Palms with Gery London, and you know, Gary and I got into quite a lot of trouble together and had a lot of fun.
John, I wouldn't imagine that an Episcopal priest would have gotten into trouble. This was before you were, of course, a minister.
This was long before I was a minister. In fact, if you had told me when I was 21 years old that I was going to be an Episcopal priest, I would have not only told you no, I'd have told you something else. But it was after I got married,
right.
Bill. It was after I got married. I got married to a wonderful woman whom I've been married to for 34 years
well,
now.
Congratulations. I think, let's give it up for that, man.
She made me go to church, and she said, "Look, I don't care where we go, but we're going to go to church." And she said, "You pick it." And I had been Episcopalian, so I said, "Well, if I've got to be miserable, at least I can be familiar in my misery, so I'll go to the Episcopal church." And I went to a wonderful church here in town, and golly, the next thing I know, I'm loving it, and the next thing I know, I'm getting more active, and next thing I know, you know, I heard a call. Best thing I can tell you is I heard God saying that's what He wanted me to do with the rest of my life.
And what church are you affiliated with now?
Church of the Holy Cross is my church. There's two locations, Sullivan's Island and Daniel Island, and we're getting ready to open up a third location in the Ion community in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, John, it's just great to have you with us. Can you hang with us for a few minutes?
Yeah, I can hang with you all the time. Yeah.
Oh, the Reverend John Burwell, and he was your roommate, Gery London.
Yes, he was. Can I share something?
Absolutely.
Very, very personal. I am so proud of John. I've known him all my life, it seems like. But Easter Sunday, I attended his church, and I almost wept.
Why is that?
Because you think he was a good DJ? Go see him preach.
He's a great preacher.
Go see him
John?
preach.
What do you think about that, John?
My gosh. Let's talk radio. Let's talk radio.
Well, let me ask you, Gary, did he tell any good jokes?
Yeah, a couple of them on me.
Is that right?
Yeah, the congregation.
You are a joke.
I am the joke.
When we reminisce, Booby, you and Terry and I, and perhaps you too, Gary, remember a guy that I thought was the best, professionally, just the best. And his name was John Trenton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Booby, give me your memories of John Trenton.
Well, John, I met John in Winston-Salem at WAIR. He was doing the all-night show. I was doing the early evening show. And when I was called to Charleston, we had another opening a few months later. There was always openings at TMA. I never understood that.
You created a lot of those, Boo.
Yes, I did. Anyway, we called him down, and he came down as, I forget, I think he was doing midday. And he ended up being the general manager. And
he was did the morning show
he did
when
the
I
morning
was here
show for
in
years.
college
Almost
for years.
Honest John. Yeah.
Almost Honest John.
Yeah.
What about you, Terry? Your memories of John, or your memories of the early days here? When
Early
you
days.
You went to, by the way, this is a guy who went to then Baptist College.
Baptist College.
Now Charleston Southern. And my mother taught you sociology.
Sociology, right.
Dr. Sharpe.
Dr. Sharpe. Those were the good days. When it comes to John Trenton, he hired me. I thought I was in heaven when I worked at WTMA. John was.
Well, you were. You were.
I thought I was. As far as radio goes, he was an incredible morning man, an incredible program director, an incredible mentor. I learned a great deal from him, and was really sorry when I left back in '72. But up until that time, I was. He was incredible.
He was incredible. Folks, in case you're joining us, my name is Bill Sharpe from Live 5 News, and I'm here with Booby Nash and Terry Allen and Gery London, and on the phone, Reverend John Burwell. We are reminiscing on this special 70th birthday of WTMA. Gary, do you have anything that you can share with us, an embarrassing moment that happened to you? Because I think we all have, all of us in broadcasting,
yes, I do.
have embarrassing moments, except, of course, for Q. John Quincy does. Yeah. Tell us what happened to you, Gary.
This involves Mr. Nash and myself.
Booby!
I can't understand
John,
that at all.
Don't laugh too hard, John, because we're going to be coming to you next.
Okay.
Now, this is before he became a born-again Christian. We'd go out drinking. And there was a little pub.
You mean adult beverages?
Yes,
Okay.
very adult beverages.
Yes.
And Booby had this knack of wanting to start a fight with people.
Booby.
And then leave.
Oh,
And
yeah.
here I am. But the worst time is when we were on top of that Coburg cow. And the
Terry,
cops came up
and
wanted to arrest us.
Imagine that, just for riding the cow.
Riding the cow.
Were you under the influence of intoxicating beverages at that point?
Oh, man.
Booby, do you remember that?
Oh, no.
Of course not.
No.
I have pictures.
You know, speaking of John Trent, I would like to say this about him. I had left TMA twice, once to go to Niagara Falls, New York,
Right.
just to be back home. And Rayetta loved it up there. And
That's your wife?
Yes, that's my wife. And we lasted 5 weeks. She loved it up there. But after 3 weeks, I said, honey, we got to go back home. You know, and I was from Buffalo. So we came back, and he hired me right back again.
Imagine that.
He made an opening.
Imagine that.
I can't. So then I left and went down to Jacksonville, Florida. And I lasted there 2 weeks.
So, and then you came back?
And he hired me back.
Well.
And every time I ended up at that little, you know, I was at more bars than you know about. One night I found myself, they said I was drunk, and they put me in the tank.
Oh, my.
And John came and bailed me out.
Well, that's
and
the kind,
hired me back.
That's the kind of guy he was. Terry Allen, we're going to be coming to you in just a minute for an embarrassing moment. But right now, John Quincy, it's time to take a break. By the way, we invite all of our listeners to give us a call and reminisce with us. The number is 556-1250.
All right, let's check your traffic and weather together. And here is Fred Storey.
Taking a look at your morning traffic, still have that disabled vehicle on top of the Don Holt. Other than that, looking